Before we get into this list, let me speak directly to those of you who love serious history and want the kind of content that, well, respects your intelligence. If you're here because you're tired of watered-down historical summaries and want real analysis, you're in the right place. And before we begin, make sure you hit subscribe to History Reborn Alive so you never miss videos that actually dig beneath the surface, like the video too, because it helps us bring more long-form deep dives to viewers who want more than TikTok-level nonsense. Now, let's get into something special. History has its grand triumphs, its wars, its revolutions, but it also has events so unbelievably stupid that even seasoned historians pause and double-check the source. These are the moments when human pride, panic, incompetence, or plain absurdity shaped real-world outcomes. You'll see everything from mistaken wars to failed invasions to political decisions so misguided they almost feel like comedy skits. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how this knowledge applies to real-world leadership crisis planning and understanding how human systems collapse under pressure. So this isn't just entertainment, it's a study in how failure repeats itself generation after generation. So let's get into it. One of the dumbest conflicts ever recorded is the Pig War of 1859, where the United States and Britain nearly fought a full military engagement over just one loose pig on San Juan Island. Neither side wanted to back down, not really because of the pig, but because neither wanted to appear weak. The practical modern lesson is, well, pretty clear. Small triggers can become large crises when pride outruns logic. In negotiation settings today, whether in politics, business, or conflict resolution, professionals still, fall into this same trap. When you notice tension rising over something trivial, the smartest move is to pause the escalation and isolate the real stakes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896, the shortest war in recorded history, lasted less than an hour. This miniature conflict erupted largely due to a succession dispute mixed with a complete misreading of British demands and deadlines. The event shows the danger of unclear communication. For survivalists and analysts, the takeaway is simple. In crises, clarity prevents catastrophe. Over-communicate rather than assume. In 1788, Sweden accidentally fired on itself during naval exercises, triggering a real battle because the soldiers thought they were under attack by the Russians. Misidentification under pressure is one of the most common threads in military disasters. Modern practical application. In any high-stress environment, create verification layers. Never react based on first assumptions. The War of the Oaken Bucket sounds fictional, but it was a genuine Italian conflict started because one city-state stole a wooden bucket from another. This shows how symbols, not resources, often trigger violence. You see this same pattern today in political disputes built around flags, monuments, or cultural artifacts. Understand the symbolic value or misunderstand the entire conflict. The Battle of Caransebeș in 1788 is honestly one of the most humiliating events in Austrian military history. Troops, drunk and disorderly, fired at shadows and, well, ended up fighting themselves. For preppers or strategists, the lesson is pretty stark. Discipline isn't a luxury, it's the bedrock of survival. A group without discipline collapses under pressure instantly. The football war between El Salvador and Honduras erupted after a soccer match, but really, it truly ended because of diplomatic exhaustion. However, during peace talks, one negotiator misread a translated phrase, resulting in a temporary ceasefire that stuck simply because everyone was just too tired to correct it. The application here, you see, is that fatigue kills precision. When handling critical decisions, rest is part of strategy, not a luxury. King George IV of England once tried sneaking out of a room to escape an awkward marriage negotiation and, well, ended up getting lodged in a window frame. The lesson here is the importance of courage in leadership. Avoiding uncomfortable conversations has toppled rulers, destroyed businesses, and, destabilized alliances. During the Crusades, several battles were halted because bee colonies were accidentally disturbed. Thousands of armored soldiers, they routed in panic. Nature doesn't care about human conflicts. For survivalists, the takeaway is pretty straightforward. Environmental awareness must be part of planning. A simple map of local wildlife patterns could have, prevented this chaos. Xerxes of Persia famously had his men whip the sea after a storm destroyed his pontoon bridge. Leaders who lash out at uncontrollable forces weaken morale and focus energy on theatrics instead of adaptation. In modern leadership, it's important to, identify what you can't control and stop wasting energy on emotional reactions. So, in 1527, an entire garrison actually failed to wake up during a surprise attack, all because of, excessive nighttime drinking. Their city was captured with barely a fight. For preppers and security-minded viewers, your routine habits matter far more than those rare heroics. An Ottoman force once tried to fire an entire volley without realizing, they'd actually forgotten to load their cannons. Miscommunication and overconfidence destroy capability. The modern equivalent is, launching a project with no resources, no prep, and honestly, no reality check. The War of Jenkins' Ear began due to misheard testimony and political manipulation. Poor information creates real bloodshed. Today, the lesson is to verify sources before forming conclusions, especially in the age of digital misinformation. So when medieval Europeans believed the Pope had banned cats, they accidentally set the stage for the plague to spread even further. You see, the decline of cats allowed rat populations to just explode, which, made the Black Death so much worse. Ignorance about ecosystems can honestly destroy entire civilizations. For anyone studying survival, it's vital to understand your environment, or, suffer the consequences. If you learned something new today, or if you appreciate history presented with real depth and respect for the craft, make sure you subscribe to History Reborn Alive. Do share this video with other serious history enthusiasts so we can keep bringing forgotten truths and hard-hitting analysis back to life. Your support, honestly, keeps real history alive.